Una where they watch me. This na quick message on the mpox sick na salon where they come out from Liberty Online TV. As of today, the case dem na salon just they go up. For make sure so you not get this sick, National Public Health Agency don't say before once we an all time avoid the push shaken and all, and not go near a person where get the signs them of mpox. And say, if you sabi anybody will get eye fever or rash and body, make him rush go na hospital one time. This message come to you from Liberty Online TV.
I think currently I have a thing for Vicky Remo.
Hello viewers, we don't bring different content then to you, and we know the tire for make the content then where you like. And now we dey bring fun and shorts with Adri. This na game show also your favorite celebrity, social media influencers, students, and other people to play game they like, truth and shots, charades, riddles, and other game there where you self go learn from. This content will come to you every Sunday, 9 o'clock na net. Now all the Liberty Online TV social media platforms there.
She chose number one. She's always number one.
Period.
On top.
Period. On top.
Yeah, man.
So not miss out. Join me for laugh with your favorite celebrity and social media influencers there.
A nation forged in resilience from the ashes of the 11 years brutal civil war through the shadows of Ebola, COVID-19, and the mudslide. Sierra Leone rises, but the journey is far from over. Governance strain. Youth demand more. Women demand more. 60% in poverty. But what if the solutions lie not in silence, but in dialogue? This is not another talk show. This is State of the Nation, where every voice feels change. From Freetown to Kono, we are turning debate into action. No script, no spin, just Sierra Leoneans rewriting their future together. So we bring you a movement not just to speak, but to be heard. Speak out. All power to account. This is your nation. This is your voice. This is State of the Nation. Only on Liberty TV on Facebook, YouTube, and on www.libertytvonline.com. Every month, the last Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Tune in. The nation is watching.
Surprise on the mix.
Look for the news with the around. Log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change. They get the masses involved. Stuff them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down the slums to get the views. Voices down. Credibility, now we ability. News, kill the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We man them, God picking the executive power. They count on here, they count on we anyhow. Kill the news, kill the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We man them, God picking the executive power. They call on here, count on me anyhow. Liberty we ride like an eagle we fly. Liberty TV baby photo. Climb the mountain just to get the news. Go down the slums to get the views. Hey, yeah, my sister. Hey, yeah. Give the views, the tell you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, God picking the executive power. The count on here, the count on here anyhow. Give the news, give the view, the tell you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, God picking the executive power. The count on here, count on me anyhow. Speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism. Speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism.
Surprise on the mix.
For the news we dey around, log into Liberty TV online. Positively we bring the change, they get the masses involved. Staff them everywhere. We climb the mountain just to get the news. We go down the slums to get the views. Hey, yeah, hey, voices down. Credibility, now we ability. News, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, God picking the executive power. The count on here, the count on we anyhow. Give the news, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. Human them, God begin the executive power. Keep all on here, count on me anyhow. Liberty we ride, like an eagle we fly. Liberty TV there before. Climb the mountain just to get the news. Go down the slums to get the views. Hey, yeah, my sister. Hey, yeah. Give the news, give the views, the tell where you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, God picking the executive power. The count on here, the count on we anyhow. Give the news, give the view, the tell you want them. Government issues, democracy, now we not the answer. We human them, God begin the executive power. The call of here, come to me anyhow. Speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism. Speak free and fearless, inclusive journalism.
You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the final edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring the program come to you this Friday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Mabel Kaba, good morning. Inside this Friday edition of the Breakfast Show live na Liberty Online TV, if people can remember after the 2023 elections, Salon be set up the Tripartite Committee, where been consist of moral guarantors them, where be talk between the government of Sierra Leone and the main opposition, All People's Congress APC party, because they contest the results of the election, where according to them, they not believe say the election been free and fair. Well, after that Tripartite Committee, they don't get them work. There is a committee where government set up, where now the Tripartite Steering Committee, we're supposed for look into the recommendations them, where the Tripartite Committee been pulled for ensure say they implement them. Well, what in the Secretariat don't they do, and how far then they for ensure say the one that we're supposed for implement the recommendations them do am. Now that's what they discussed on the program this morning as a coordinator for the Secretariat, where Ngolo Katta go can explain to the public how far the Secretariat don't go with them work.
All right, well, this and plenty other story them, then are the I beg your pardon, this and plenty other story them, then are the program for you this morning. Remember, say you say for the watch, we go get the opportunity for ask you question, comment on anything we want for nobody work, where the Tripartite Secretariat don't they do this PNTM as they don't they hold different engagements with the media, civil society, and other stakeholder them for ensure say they implement some part of the recommendation that will come out from the Tripartite and how Salon go avoid some of the issues that will be upon during and after the June 24th, 2023 elections. And that we can discuss inside the program this morning. Don't forget for send we comment at the comment section at any of the platform the way they watch way. You can as well share the program so that more people will join the conversation this morning. As we get the coordinator for the Tripartite Secretariat, wait one panel mandate for ensure say they implement some of the recommendation there. How far then they now and waiting they don't they do for implement the recommendation there. So and how the stakeholder they were supposed for work with the Secretariat don't they cooperate for ensure say then implement all the recommendation and for meet of the next elections will be on 2028. Now that's what they discussed on the program this morning.
All right. Well, as we continue, before we can look at that issue there, let we just quickly go to the eastern part of Freetong, na Kalbatong to be precise. Usai people where they tap na the community where they call Pamaronko, where they use the Pamaronko Fomex bridge. There is concern say this bridge they in bad condition. Let we watch as Al Hassan Kuruma Bingo Wakade.
The Pamuanko Fomex Bridge, within at the eastern part na Freetown, they link this on the street community and one slum with the Pamuanko. People with tap na them two community here. Inside the past year, there is concern for sake of the condition of the bridge. As then concern here continue for come from young sets of people where they use this bridge for source of living. Outside in the worst motorcar and bike them. Self don't see the way how the condition of the bridge don't they make them get challenged for do them work.
They may take up the place, they don't want to know, they may clean the place, they don't let the place to narrow one. And we watch the kind of place to flow, the church and the wall, which affect you. When I'm glad you can actually, where they can be, the room back, you don't see the place, how the place be, but you don't block, this place, tell people, how don't block the dot, you know the ready to see one. And the rain, now small one they cancel for people, they know she does we get for she don't this one, I don't get for no to get for take place this place.
For sake of them concern here, make the young people we tap na this community, don't call on authority them, we concern for make this bridge, especially now, we rain don't begin calm. For Liberty Online TV, Al Hassan Kuma the report.
All right, from that report there with the Kana studio, as earlier we tell una say we they can talk to the coordinator for the Tripartite Secretariat. We want them work now for ensure say they work with stakeholder them for implement some party recommendation them will be come out after the Tripartite Committee. People can remember after the June 24th 2023 elections, the main opposition when the APC been say they not agree for the outcome of the June 24th election, and then be say they know they take part in governance. This be make international moral guarantor them being come and then be get a 3 days talk na Bintumani Conference Center. Usai them be signed for get some things the way they want let them look for, and the Tripartite Committee na one party resolution they will be come out inside that document the way the government we na be the chief negotiator, the chief minister, and Dr. Samura Kamara will be the represent the All People's Congress, will na be the presidential candidate for the 2023 elections. And beside this peace communique and one party resolution them, now forget a tripartite committee, who side them be get a representative, when Dr. Kelfala Mara, and that of government, when Dr. Emmanuel Gaima, and the international community, where the UN resident coordinator be the represent the international community. From there, then get recommendation that we come out from the tripartite committee. How far they don't go for implement the recommendation there, how the secretariat they work now, all of that Ngolo Katta, when the coordinator, go can explain this morning. Good morning, Mr. Katta. Good to see you once again.
Good morning, ladies, and good morning, Sarah Lou.
All right, I just don't give with viewers them a background as to how the secretariat come up with and waiting be happen and waiting as some of the recommendation them where be they inside it and how on they work with stakeholder them for implement some of the recommendation there. We see una don't begin all consultation with civil society. Usai una talk about the preferred electoral process. They wanna they go consult for let people and tell una waiting at the preferred electoral process method them we then go want less alone all. But before we can talk about the consultation, how the secretariat done the work so far under your leadership?
Thank you very much. The Secretariat, I mean, you already know, say the after the signing of the tripartite in recommendation 80, it been say they've been presented to government and then to cabinet, and when cabinet put up a mechanism for implementer, and the main oversight mechanism where cabinet be set up now the steering committee, and so the steering committee now a multi institutional based committee who say government day, it's sets of ministries, departments and agencies because of the informations that they within the recommendations and how they go end for go before for make we rectify them. They will need political leadership to for can go cabinet and then also for can go parliament. So the Ministry of the Ministry of Finance, I mean, you know why I go there now because you go get for support this process here. The Ministry of Information, when I lead the civic information and civic engagement around this. The Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, the Ministry of Local Government, the Ministry of Social Welfare, and then, of course, it's chaired by the Chief Minister. So there's sets of ministries that they did. But they will also get the leader of government, business. They will also get the minority leader. They will get the 5 mayors of the city councils. Then they are the committee. We also get the council of local government day. We get bar associations, APA, APWA, we get civil society organizations. So that kind big, and then the council of paramount chiefs, we are not left out because that's how they play a very critical role. So that committee, they then duty and forgive oversight, but also lead the process. I mean, take the decisions, and then so then form the secretariat. The secretariat in own duty really like an operational space for push the process because all them people that they go now people that will get work for do. So they're not going to do day-to-day process. So now they make the secretariat day with a small team of coordinator and a set of experts, the public sector expert, because there's a lot of reform process that take place inside this whole engagement here. We get a legal expert there, we also get a finance expert, and then we also get a data expert, and a core of researchers and admin assistants. So that's so the secretariat set. From the setting of your secretariat, first of all, the initial funding for setting up of the secretariat and also paying of staff and some of the progress we don't make so far now from the government of Sierra Leone. We support this through the office of the Chief Minister. But after that, we don't develop an annual work plan. I mean, a budgeted work. I mean, with budgets. We don't care and go before the steering committee and not approve them. In the course of this, steering committee don't meet very close to about 4 or 5 times now on their own for take decisions on most of the processes. But they don't meet with stakeholders, including development partners and also the moral guarantors. Now, fast forward to what's not happened so far. Say the core of then recommendations there, it is between reforms around the constitution itself and legislative processes. So you realize, say, the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, 9 days under the spectacle, but also other institutions, the Political Party Regulation Commission, the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, the Office of National Security, the Independent and Compliance Police Board, and also IMC, etc. They're only on that spectacle. But then also other important issues and the way the recommendations they touch on. But let's start with the laws then. The Attorney General are fine. I'm not being called the Attorney General. So the Attorney General and Minister of Justice are a member of the steering committee. And because of Naina, the principal legal person for the country, Naina they lead this process here in terms of reforms. What we they do as the Secretariat now for coordinate all them processes here, I mean in a way we will link them with the citizens, the political parties, but also create the level of public information and civic engagement with the Ministry of Information and Civic Engagement for make the information go across. As I speak to you, the constitutional review process been on day. We all know that, Andy. A very long time. But government don't resolve now, say, if for finalize them. For me, finalize them, they don't look at them, a set of things, and they were also related to the tripartite process. About 17 of them provisions now gets linkage with the tripartite process. And then one day, I think that we already been on there, but now the tripartite don't bring the car up and they raise them. So the constitutional review process will link up with Dandy, and a series of review already they go on. For me, the review really go on well. The Attorney General don't set up a team of a legal team in office of about 8 people, about 5 lawyers and some interns that were also in a law school. For me, they help for do them consultations, do then desk reviews, and then also recommend potential provisions within the process where INSESEC will take up and move forward with. So that's one of it that's happening. And that one, it's not only dealing with the constitutional process, like I said, it's also dealing with legislative processes. So there are a lot of processes around ECSL, other legislative processes. We already instead the on review with the Attorney General. Same with PPRC, and also with the other one. They like, for example, the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, a whole act. Other acts that they were inside the tripartite recommendation that the acts when they review them. The Cyber and Crime Act, for example, and also the IMC Act. So that one they all do under review. Some of them they would then the ministries them. Then they lead now the ministries that they lead on Nandi. But the core of the review around the constitution and the laws they do under the Attorney General. And then one and they don't go far in terms of review. The other part they win at the independent management and functional review of all the institutions there. How for really go back and investigate how then they operate, what are the issues between them, for make them functional and much more efficient. So then the self-data happen right now. One day in London, the Electoral Commission in London. They don't only London, we don't review that, we document it, we don't done with them, we don't present them before the steering committee don't accept them, we don't present them to His Excellency the President. So now, from that point they go back to the Electoral Commission, and we on duty now for follow-up, for see how all the review process and they go take place.
Let me just quickly go back to Osayu stats, right from the composition of the Secretariat. Who that decide who that's for day na the Secretariat?
Now the steering committee, now part of them, the terms of reference there. So in the first meeting, after cabinet don't compose them, they meet. So then they set their own terms of reference, all waiting and go do. And from there, and then they say they want for set up, they want a set of actors and for help run this process. And so that they the issue of coordinator, all the experts they award on him so come out. So their responsibility now before going to the process of recruitment and hire. So now the steering committee now do all and up to the setting up of the secretariat. So the secretariat, what they do now for just carry up the mandate of the steering committee and report back to them in every steering committee meeting. We do that report to them, but also we consistently engage with them because we're not a platform. So they give the information to them, and they also brief the chairperson so that he's able to tell me what he thinks say we can move forward with. But now that way the system set up.
Apart from the reforms them on the electoral laws them of the country, the Tripartite Committee been get other issues them we been come up. This Secretariat, now the holistic report recommendation them, when I get mandates them for look at, or not just a set of recommendations?
Holistic. So we are in touch with every actor or institution where in name they inside that report there. Well, not only by words say, we're writing them, we're holding meetings with them, we're discussing the issues with them, how they are moving forward. So I can give you some examples. So all the institutions I don't call, we don't hold meetings with them. So we know the pace in which then they. But also because of the experts I will get, then they link up with them. For example, the independent management and functional review. Now the public sector reform units and they lead on that. As I speak to you, then they in retreat, looking at the report for all the other institutions and with public sector experts in that retreat me and they talk almost every moment about how the process then go. So out of that retreat, they will go command now the final reports of all the institutions then. Instead we'll come back to we'll go here. We'll go inform the chairperson, say these reports are ready, and then we'll call another steering committee meeting quickly for make the PSR, you can present them before the steering committee, then they accept them. We'll look at the technical committee of the steering committee and others for me, we just review them. We've done the final documents and come out, and they will present them.
What's in the time frame of the mandate to get say for don't look inside all the recommendation there, so implement it and come back to government with you the mandate?
So there was after the signing of this the tripartite, there was an action plan developed where they look at this planning within a year. So we hope say by the end of this year, the most of them process and they will don't go through. Nevertheless, you go look at some of the recommendations, and they also get timelines of 6 months, 2 months, But when you look at the practicability of the processes and where they inside, you go realize say them processes then go continue within the action plan timeline within almost a year. This 2025 year period. So a lot they really would be in almost in completion space. So for example, around ECSL, not just laws, policies and regulations then they want for make them review. They want and they don't do most of them, and except doing a lot of consultation with stakeholders and for me to look at all them policies then they. So that is going to continue. It seems as if it's getting within their work plan, for example. They're also doing a strategic plan for 2025 to 2029. election period cycle. So a lot of some of these issues that may mean training, capacity building, etc., will have to fall within some of those work plans. We then will carry along, till before the elections. So that is really way, because whatever we do now, if it's about training staff, if we do it now, we'll still get for doing as we go towards the elections. So they don't stagger through that some of them process and the same routine with PPRC. Other one, and they, for example, say whether parliaments they deal with them. Other one, and they whether political party registration commission they deal with them. All the one and they will look at them and discuss them so that they will be settled really before we reach closer to the elections.
Describe cooperation in all of this, because for many people, when the Tripartite Committee be done, then work with them reports and recommendations and comments, the eyes of the public been there na side like the ECSL, where they believe say play a great role, will lead we even to the Tripartite Committee as a nation. So in terms of cooperation, the institutions they want to work with so far, let me take the ECSL for example. How cooperative they done they, because plenty of people point out to them say, now then cause all of these issues will lead to a tripartite committee work.
I would say it has been very professional, open, and principled. I have an open door engagement with the chief, the chairman and the chief commissioner, and all the commissioners. So even we did this consultation right now around the election system. We they talk to the EMBs, then all come. The chairman come, all in commissioners then come, and senior officials, directors, executive secretary, etc. That's the level of cooperation. With all of them, even with PPRC, with the daunting task of really paying attention to some of the internal democracies of political parties right now. I have direct conversation with the chairperson, the registrar, and the senior staff. I have also enjoyed good relationship with the political parties. I can assure you. The opposition, I don't hold meeting at the office.
Whose role then they play in all of this? Because up to this time, the opposition has not accepted the results of the 2023 elections. We make we into a place where a secretariat the way they coordinate. Whose role then they play in all of this?
They're cooperating. In fact, that's why they talk to you. So today, na the day for the consultation of all political parties on the electoral systems for the next elections. I have spoken to all of them, and they're all they can't today at that meeting day. It's a closed-door meeting just for them, for me we really get the conversation and make themselves, speak on the issues. A lot of them closed-door meeting there, we need to talk much about what's in the happen inside there, because we already get professional facilitators and rapporteurs when they do all their reports and then they go put them together. So in general, like I said, cooperation has been very fantastic with the international community as well, development partners. In fact, they almost co-opt me into the technical working group. So I brief them almost every 1 month, 2 months, once they meet at the Candy. Most of the times, if people like the agenda not for me. So I go there and I brief them. I do a PowerPoint presentation and we discuss the issues then. And then we look at who say next step go able for support for move forward.
I'll be asked you say there are other recommendations in the Tripartite Committee then report, and you say yes, so now they look into them, because now all what it seem like not just elections, the committee and the stakeholder then focus on. Now you say when I get the full cooperation of the main opposition, we now the resistance of accepting the elections results make so discussing tripartite. Then begin what other key issue would then be get a bone of contention with the government through the AGA office, now that of releasing political prisoners. When at any point on get this conversation for see how na go resolve that stalemate in the process?
Yes. Like I say, in as much as now other resolution Andy, but it also they deal with the electoral environments. So that conversation and the way I don't follow through with the Attorney General, I also know say the APC self don't follow through with them. There might be one or two issues, but I know see they also been get clear requirements as to how to deal with that issue. There. But from the conversation, almost everybody will be there within that context. They for that resolution, they supposed to on the out now, except for one or two people. We according to the conversation of that, then we already be don't reach the point of sentence. And then they normally way they be according to the Attorney General, it means they don't they away from her now, they within the court system and you're not going to interfere. So that they don't happen. I mean, I don't know how they go deal with that and they moving forward. But I know say, I mean from the conversation that most of them one that they will be supposed for the within that confinement they all then don't release them. I mean in general.
Host the Attorney General Nayaso and also the Secretary General of the APC. This seems to be a problem where also they put forward the legal arguments them. At any point, then people there we don't reach the sentence stage where according to the AG, they now with the courts, in one for interfere. Then people there the issue don't bring a stumbling block for now for implement other recommendation. Don't they face any form of resistance from the main opposition?
No. I think I shall say they don't raise one or two times in conversation. But I know say then they also get conversation with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Because then they really a different from the tripartite. Two different resolutions, 3 and 4. So they're different. But like I said, for the resolutions, where they deal with the tripartite, I mean we get very open conversation around them. It's quite, sometimes even with the steering committee, I mean, critical pinpoints and on issues. But would they make sure, say, would they move them on? Yesterday I had the opportunity even of speaking to the Secretary General of the APC, may and discuss, I mean, about all this procedure, for example, I mean, how they run this procedure would change venue. So I mean, if I go back to the inform the stage, venue don't change, you know, I will go there. But like I said, in general, we are moving forward. The other issues where government also, they consider, for example, the issue of Resolution 50, where they talk about this whole conversation of voter card versus identity card. So government, they part that conversation. The chairperson don't pick her up, or don't raise them. Say that I don't get much role for play there. I mean, a decision we government for take at a point for say yes, we go transition with this. But I know say that conversation the chief minister and government they think about how they go handle that.
Mr. Katta, as the conversation and they continue, I know say so many things and they unfold. One of the issues we make the country they now discussing tripartite, now how then the ECSL conduct the 2023 election. Civil society organization they like new, they raise concern, and even the opposition party they raise concern about the transparency of the tabulation of and transmission of results. That now one key concern we come up from both civil society organization and also the opposition. How una don't start the conversation and if we ensure say una do a sort of technical audit in the ECSL for know them problem and help support them for solve some of these issues?
So those are all part of the resolutions. Between resolutions 2, 3, 4, and 5, you know, they talk about policy regulations around information management, for example, the whole conversation of independent voter assessment, etc. So that one they all day within the purview of the ECSL for them move forward with. We don't get conversation on Andy. They don't tell me personally say yes. They know. I mean the way the resolution couched, not to them for one. It should be an independent process. So we continue that conversation there and foresee how it will be laid well in terms of, I mean, looking out for a professional institution and with an independent institution, we will really can look at the issues and then proffer recommendations as to how we go transition. In terms of really data management, information dissemination, the voter registration processes. But be rest assured that stand itself now process with the, we will look at, very strongly. Consistently, we benchmark this process here. So we'll we'll come back to them and say, where are we now? And then what are the justifications? Because we will say, where are we now? We don't do this. We need the indicator. We need what's in the show. Say this has happened. And once we see them, and we go through them, we will mark them. But we get the next stage of it. Most of these processes also need some level of participatory engagements and consultations so that citizens understand them but also accept them.
Accept most of the reforms here. They take you back to the reforms where they around the constitution, where they under the office of the Attorney General, because this is one concern whenever we host the opposition party APC. Now they can raise concerns, say even the constitutional review process where they do for them, then they see like a feeble like na secrecy and not open up. So then within the opposition, how the Secretariat they work around this? Because if you want to make reforms, we get to do with the constitution, open participation now one way the public they expect. What's in the happen around the reforms and the constitution?
So that's they are not so magic. Now work. And the way it's done, a professional job. There's a lot of real desk review around these processes. If you want for consult at desk review, it will look chaotic small. So you want for allow the Attorney General in office with a legal team for me to review all them process and then there is now a document, a paper where they show say this may look like a draft that we may be moving forward with, and then we will get the next stage. You say we will create opportunities for some level of consultations and they around this. None of them process are not go the way, not go get interface with political parties, because this is about laws around them. This is about laws around them. When I speak to the political parties, the other political parties, I wouldn't say smaller political parties. There's nothing like that. Because they are also
stage where the reforms there around the constitution, not reach a point yet where participation for take place.
So even with this one what they do right now, the consultation, a part of that and the way that result, they forgo into that process there. So you see how it extended. There are some of them that were already doing the consultations. We may come back when they are finalized and they are now in a document where they talk, say, these are the legislative reforms that they look at, or these are the reforms that we link up with the constitution who they look at. We finally go cabinet, and after cabinet go parliament. Then documents and we will also ask the Attorney General for we subject them to consultations and conversation with stakeholders, including the political parties, civil society, and at least some sets of the citizenry. What we're saying is that each of those processes will virtually need some level of participatory consultation and engagement. Because it's about Sierra Leoneans, and these are laws that we want Sierra Leoneans, to know and to accept. So once the Attorney General, he's very open to that. Because I engage him, almost weekly, almost sometimes a day, with me and go talk 2-3 times per week, just for me and follow up with them. But they also go sit down with his colleagues. Them now we have a legal expert in the Secretariat as well that we're looking at. So that linkage, then they all go there, so that we go move them process there. In a way where it go produce acceptable outcomes.
Mr. Katta, anybody will understand the sensitivity and importance of the Tripartite Committee report and the recommendation they with the inside, they go no say on get a great responsibility for shoulder on. Because one of the main reason why all the Tripartite Committee born now for correct some of the errors them will happen during the 2023 elections. How committed the Secretariat be for ensure say before the next elections, all the recommendation that we did inside, we for prevent ala instability after elections in the country, when I implement them, and both parties, the government and the opposition, will go into this negotiation, it be a win-win situation for them.
Oh, Khadija, you know me, eh? I mean, when I know me, say me in a person way, one for work hard and work well. So we are very committed to this process. I mean, in a way, where every staff within the Secretariat really want to see a win for Sierra Leone. These are people who were tacitly, choosing to be in there, and they are serious, very serious. So, like I will say to you, we are looking at it from that perspective. It's a very daunting task. Just like I don't talk. So then make sure say we keep that interaction there with all the actors, including the main opposition and also the other political parties. With the upper and even the one that were not in upper. So you will see how we try for do this. We're speaking to everybody. So we upper meet, I will still ensure say then when they will not inside there, then say come. In fact, sometimes we are all under the same roof. It could be very challenging meetings, but we will handle them and we all come to some kind of logical conclusion for move on. And we're also doing the same, with the other institutions. Their doors are open, and we're encouraging them so that we go do this process here and reach, a conclusion where enough time go there for make all the reviews that are done and may not affect the election. So we understand that. We're also taking technical backstop from the international community and development partners. So for UNDP, for example, part of what we had looked at was that they were in the tripartite process from the beginning to the ending. So to the signing, they have not been away. But I have had meetings with the leadership. They had consented, they still want to be part of it. We have brought it to the steering committee. If I had personal conversations with the chairman and the chief minister. And after that, we want to bring a cabinet steering committee. It has been accepted. We have officially written to the resident coordinator, and it don't attend meetings, it don't accept say, instead go be part of the steering committee. So that's the level of how we really want to see this happen. We've also been able, to engage them, for me then see how they're able to provide some support for the Secretariat for level get into really engaging Sierra Leoneans across the board, from district level, regional level for vulnerable groups, regional level for the press and social media actors, because it's important for make them understand this process here well, report on them well, and with a very clear standard operating procedure as to how I engage with the press. It will make the process much more open and diverse as how diverse it is. So like you said, we are committed to this. We are consistently engaging government also with their responsibility for implement this, so that it provide the support for move this process forward.
Again, plenty people a question, because at the end of the day, funding for run the Secretariat, for example, go get for come from government. So Usai on the Secretariat, they draw the line for be independent, in as much as they get funding and support from government, but ensure say at the end of the day, waiting una go don't do not in the interest of government, but every party involved could be satisfied.
Well, this is about integrity and genuinely, the principal nature. First of all, I will tell you that the chief minister and the chairperson, whether the chairperson of the steering committee, don't give a free hand. And door open. So I can even left the secretariat at 5 o'clock in the evening. I come at Timamna in Domot. He say, "Me can't say I talk to him." That's the level of the way we're operating. I'm speaking to other steering committee members. But I mean, he said he wants us to have the free hand to engage around this process. So you don't see, I tell you, say, I don't hold meeting with the opposition. In the office, I mean, myself come, and we get very extensive conversation. I've also given them the very strong impression that I'm a Sierra Leonean. I want to see good for Sierra Leone. And I'm prepared to, I have come to solicit their cooperation for let's so that we'll move this process forward. I've done the same thing to the other political parties. We're keeping them, well informed about these processes so that they themselves could really follow through. And that is why we arrange these consultations, for example, this is what they do. We decide, say, we'll get a set of close-in consultations, and one of them in our political parties. The other one, now the stakeholders, with the tripartite, they deal with the EMBs, the security sector, made themselves come. Saturday morning, we're inviting all of you. Including the press. Then there will be a moderated one with experts. We understand the two systems, and it will be live for talk about them. And after that, we'll get a core of discussants. We'll go look at the two systems then and really open up, the conversation as to what thing they mean and how they, will be useful, as we go along around the elections process. After that, we believe now, say, the next part of it will be, taking it out. But like I said to you, our duty is, our secretariat is open to everybody. You can come in. You have the opportunity of meeting me, and we'll get the conversation on that day. But I want to ensure, say, there is a principled engagement around this process that allows every actor in the process, for interface with the secretariat, and we hear what's are the issues, and from that informed point, we take unbiased positions around the issues. Some of it do not end on our desk. We take them back to the steering committee. And like I said to you, the steering committee is a bipartisan committee. Opposition did it, the ruling party did it, but then also government institutions did it, and now UN did it. We will hope, say, we all will really look at the things objectively and help move them forward.
President Biodo make a commitment to the people of Sierra Leone Parliament, in a words I quote, to say election don't always be contentious in this country, but he want for ensure say in left electoral laws them we go avoid all the plaba them which happen after elections. He set up a committee first, when I be the Honorable Vice President be in charge of that committee. But after the peace talks now have been to Mani, they end up for transition into a tripartite committee, which shows say the president committed to in word so he make to the people of Sierra Leone. How na go ensure say una help them achieve this commitment so they don't make by the time they done, they go, they left proper systems and structures for all election them will go be very peaceful and transparent and salon. It rates again very openly and clearly where they receive the Electoral Commission independent management and functional reports in the presence of the international community, the steering committee, and also having a live program. Every stage in this process, he's being briefed by the chief minister, who is chairman of the steering committee. And he has made it clear that he wants this process, to be speedily implemented. And so he has made it clear to the Ministry of Finance for support the engagement of this process. So we see him.
it's not just in his words. We're also seeing it in the response from government for support the process, for me to move forward. I mean, I will sit on here. There is consistent conversation on moving this process forward. I mean, afterwards, almost all the staff that within the Secretariat and government, they pay them. But we get that free environment for let we perform with duty. Which more now for inform the steering committee as we move on. In fact, we're inviting them for make them come to some of them process there, for make them follow through. Be politicians or be civil society and other actors. So for me, I think say it don't show that clear commitment there for ensure say this process has changed. I remember we the talk, we they received reports. They said this will be done there from 2007. It begin call say 2012. We read the same thing. In fact, they say me I go police. They may make fun of that. But it say they want for ensure say by the time we're in the left, there is an environment that allows the level of political plurality and citizens' participation in electoral process without any.
So you see that happening through this process will in a different way?
Absolutely, because from the issues that we don't come up from the tripartite, some of them are issues that have been around. So if we review them now and give them the kind of strong legal regime, which we will have now for let we implement them very strongly. Others than they would have been gaps. For example, election dates, even though just by proclamation and the length of parliament, you will know when the next election will be. But now, making sure that there's consultation on a period for elections, like best practice in many of West African countries and around the world, where somebody will say, this December first week, we can now the whole elections. So that the bank an important issue, but also the transition. So that we not go just hold election, the elect na net will swear in person. That transition for allow for make things and cool down, everybody show interest for come. Now that's swearing the all the one that they inside their process there. And the constitutional review process, they don't capture that one there. So important now, really, we'll go see most of the issues there really lead very well.
How you go describe the effectiveness of the parts of the recommendation that we've been talking about, inter-party interaction, for letting the major political parties, for example, not they at loggerhead all the time, because of specific parts of the recommendation and they make mention of political party dialoguing among themselves, and for ensure say past president, past vice president, and sitting gets a cordial relationship. What's on the happen with that part of the recommendation?
A nation of this small nation really for enjoy that kind of thing. Big nations already, we're seeing them doing it. We could learn from it. But I think say important for make that kind of clarity there in terms of how their interactions they have to take place. In many spheres of life, with the civil side functions them, where they take place in other countries or processes, the sitting president can fly into them function with some of your other predecessors or other actors. So I believe that spirit will bring down the candy. That spirit will we self go push into governance conversation. Like I said, His Excellency the President committed for see this take a different turn. So part of them were now goodwill them when he said will begin to take a own period on. Because he has accepted the recommendations. He's asked that we implement them, and we're looking at every way and means of moving them forward. Some of the data are critical. recommendations. I can tell you for free. And
this is one of them where they say past presidents and sitting presidents for the talk.
I don't think so. They're very critical. I think say for be an opportunity. For build the level of interactive leadership at the highest level. It's happening in many parts of the world. Let keep yourself now this your own part. You go to programs, for example, in Ghana, you will see all of them interacting together. In Nigeria, you could see all of them interacting. This now thing way for build into with body politics. We go build. It will start a new culture of transformative leadership. We will push a process. We democratic process. Forward.
Some of the things the way they inside a recommendation there, just for the benefit of the viewers, that we might not unfortunate forget the report and look at the recommendation in first hand. If they implement all of the things that we talk about inter-party dialogue, Salon people and go begin see after elections a smooth transition. Maybe the outgoing president go they visit the current president. The question they happen a country them like Ghana. We just make mention of. We see now President Mahama. They get very good interaction with former presidents them. But we come to Salonia, most time it can be so tense, especially during a term now like this, outside the outgoing president, even the Nigeria, although they say now on medical grounds, but the truth is, they on exile. How the recommendation they already talk about inter-party dialogue will foster the relationship between the two major political parties, where most time can contest elections. Most person after the election he lost, he go say no, the election are free and fair, and not accept the outcome.
The president don't show goodwill for ensure say them process there go on unhindered, but also with the unflinching support from him for ensure say this country enjoy better politics and democracy. He's also the fountain of honor. Means say Nain gets the leverage for bring this country to the level we want them. And I sure say part of this go in mind as things that way it go move on with for left, a better legacy. He himself in the next couple of years will be called former president. So I'm sure part of them legacy protection we will show commitment to a much more cohesive nation. It's not a consistent thing. Where in fact, sometimes it can happen, in fact, more than once. And you go once. And you go inform me, say, can I get a brief? So they always put them one a day together. But also they indicate, say, this way I need your attention. This way I need your attention. And also, invariably, the attention of the president. So they raise some of their issues in it. Because every step gets ending outcome. For example, with the managing functional review of the ECSL now, one of the things that they move towards now for me they call a PPLC meeting, a meeting of political parties and all stakeholders within their own confinement. For me then discuss the report. So each of them process there, now so we will continue until we reach a logical conclusion. We'll go write, a proper report on how far it don't be and present it to His Excellency the President.
All right, continue for the tonight program, Mr. Katta. Let me take a break. We'll come back. We can discuss how we go for all the nationwide consultation on the preferred electoral system, so the people of Sierra Leone go want for the ECSL starts for you. So we take a short break. We'll come back. We'll continue the breakfast show.
Hey, Sadie, what's up? How are you? Samo, hook me up quick. Samo, someone will forget some football pictures for this week. I don't check all the side all day long. But I'm help me to one where I'm going for ginger and swagger for this week. Ask Leo. Ask Leo? Who is Leo? Ask Leo, Sam. I did it. No, can't go to me feeling. No. Allow me to finish my food.
Leo will help you open an account, check your balance, buy airtime to pop, send money. Leo will help you locate the nearest ATM point. Leo will help ease your stress by helping you get the most fascinating fixtures. Oh yes, for our football lovers. Leo will do this and many more.
Wow!
All you need to do is save Leo to your mobile phone with the number +232 79 919 919 and get to chat with Leo on WhatsApp. Go on, try it now. You can also chat with Leo on Facebook Messenger by typing UBA chat banking. Leo is your virtual banker who serves you wherever you are with just one click away. It is UBA. We are your #1 bank for all the right reasons. For more inquiries, call us on +232 78 200 200 or follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at uba.sl. We are Africa's global bank.
Hey! Enjoy the new collapse bundle price drop. Now you can get your weekly collapse bundle for 60 leons only on Maxit app. Download the Maxit app now on Play Store or App Store. Install the app and enter your orange number and password. Now follow the simple step here. Open the Maxit app. Next, tap the account. Then select airtime and bundle. Enter the number where you want buy for. Now choose the collapse bundle where you need and the one where go suit you. Finally, type your password. Bam! All things set. Subscribe to the collapse bundle today and enjoy more browsing for small couple.
Orange.
All right. Welcome back. You still watch the Breakfast Show on Liberty Online TV and continue for sending message, ask a question regarding the topic we will look at this morning. As later in the program, Ngolo Katta will come out now the Tripartite Steering Secretariat will go for response to the concerns and where we see when I don't drop and I'll continue for asking questions and then we come back to Ram. Now let we look at the stage now where we did. Usai we see a week ago the National Elections Watch knew, together with the Attorney General in office and then partner them, we begin for engage civil society for decide, because it's one of the recommendations they want to look at whose kind electoral system Salon for adopt between the PR system and that of the first past the post. Now we see when they do consultation how they go nationwide. Let we look at how una plan for do this for ensure say not just few people but people will go make contributions them where at the end of the day complain no go day as to waiting and go decide how una want for cover everybody.
So this now people process. I mean not to think we want for quizam in a way, like what I say. The conversation about an elections system now issue with Sierra Leoneans there for own. So when they happen, what we don't do, we don't begin a set of close consultations. With a set of actors, and we really them foot most of them process they go sit down, and others they will play active role into as well. So the way we set her up, we say we will do a set of this one. And then after that, we will move around the process. But first of all, I tell you now that besides government in support for move them process there, we also don't get support from the international ideas. And international ideas and international organization with their own elections for a very long time. I mean, and then they are and with support from the European Union. Now then, they support we for engage some of this process there. And the way we look at them, the Secretariat, now they take a lead on this, then consultations there. I mean, because we've actually want for ensure, say, we create the environment for participation. So the Attorney General in office, because now legal process it will end on, they also give we the technical backstop for move this forward. So in collaboration with them, they do this. And how they do them? We be agree with the partner for that we get a set of technical conversation, closed-door conversation. But before this, the partner be done commission a comparative write-up. I can share that with you on the two systems and a comprehensive narrative day out of that. When they look at the two systems, interestingly, Sierra Leone don't use them two systems and they equally. And so a comparative narrative don't come out of them, but also looking at it from best practices across the world, whether also they use them, and it don't come into a literature for Sierra Leone with recommendations, with pros and cons, advantage and disadvantage of the two systems, and then what it will look like if we really want to narrow into them. So then that document a day, like what I say. But then few days there, what we don't do now that we don't meet with the electoral management bodies. We don't also meet with the security sector. You will all know that in elections, I mean, then they not very sensitive partners in the electoral process. I mean, important. I mean, for me, the electoral environment, they within an environment with much risk now they, or if risk then they, we're already able to mitigate their risk then they, and follow through the process. So you will imagine the level of assessments and security. I mean, review way the security sector could do before we get to elections. And the same with the Electoral Commission. Then step one for ensure say, then they go through a series of processes from how reach that level. So then they will be merge them because some interaction there between them. But also the very fact say, the Office of National Security, now in the lead on the integrated elections security planning process. Why? It's also a best practice we don't see in other parts of the world. We say an integrated security mechanism and they run the elections. Why? Because sometimes the police alone not able to run the elections. So don't see, I mean, we say other forces can come together for do that. We don't see in Ghana, we don't see in Nigeria, Gambia, etc. across West Africa. For now not go far. So because of that, they will not bring them together. But you also know, say, ONSF gets a lot of recommendations inside this process here. Starting from recommendation 22, 23, 24, 25, I mean, it will relate to them up to about 28. When they talk about this whole institutionalization of the ISPC itself, the institution when they talk about bringing them process they have together, how we make Sierra Leoneans know bottom constantly, how we make Sierra Leoneans then get clear understanding about when MACP go come, for example. So there's a whole conversation about right to information about MACP that Sierra Leoneans they get right for understanding. So if all the issues are there, it means say then too need for engage and talk about elections from that perspective. So bring them together and we'll get a long conversation with them. Very rich conversation. But like I said, I mean, these are conversations we don't speak about. Because like we say, if we want to show the level of neutrality, we ensure, say, what's in the talk there, make the rapporteurs and the facilitators then pick her up and begin put her into the reports. We don't know. Yesterday we meet with the Interreligious Council. And a huge number of them turn out. I mean, both male and female, Christians, Muslims, and even Jews, Judean dominations. And we had a very strong and open conversation on the two systems. So we're grappling on that. Today, we are meeting with political parties. And from all that, we have informed them. All of them have consented that they will come. Also, when they come, we'll have some conversation. So there is facilitation team, very expert facilitation team, with both local and international. You know, we do all this because we also want for they as a secretariat and CC. I mean, there's professionalism in this. So we'll get an international facilitator. Then we'll get two local facilitators, people who have been in elections for a very long time. Then they move this process here. And then we'll talk about this process here. And then they will lay the fine ground for conversation.
How about the civil society participation?
So part of what was why International Ideas give support to National Elections Watch. So we have heard from them. But like I said, after tomorrow, Saturday morning, there is going to be an expert moderated forum. We will be live, and we'll get two experts, professional people, will understand the two systems. We can really talk about them and lay and bear. After that, then we'll get 4 discussants. We then say we'll come looking at then that conversation from them two experts, but also their own intellectual academic perspective about them two processes there, and discuss and thoroughly open. And then in this forum, it's going to be an open, multifaceted forum where we'll bring civil society, we'll bring all the actors there again, for make them come and then did it. Because we have given the political parties their space, we will ensure that they will not be here. Because it will be much more, maybe we'll bring upper and upper for make the representation be. I should say the opposition will go for raise this with me. But then we'll go discuss them.
In terms of screening the kind people who they engage, how they work around them? Because even the civil society organizations now clear splits the way people believe say political interference go there if una no watch the kind people and way they work with. How they screen them?
We want to bring people who have elections background, development background, and go really and get the level of knowledge. This is, in this one on Saturday, it is going to be a knowledge-based, independent knowledge-based conversation. Because so there's going to be academicians, there's going to be researchers, there's going to be a core of other civil society people then we go come forget this kind of conversation. So they really take time for mix up the set of people we go there in this for make we get that conversation. But like I say, it will be live. And so we'll for bring back that conversation from waiting people and go they say, and we go they listen into that conversation there for let we all get the kind discussion we would think say will help really start building the stage before we move to the next level. Because after that day now, we'll do a synopsis of them and then we'll go to regional consultations. Right. Every region will get the opportunity for bring people in from each district for day that region day and get one day engagement across. Before we come back, we'll do a synopsis of that day and then we'll go to the national consultation.
I'll look at messages and now where people don't send for you, they'll come back to you for respond. This one from YouTube, Samuel Thorley, they say, let this process be in favor of the citizens of Sierra Leone, regardless of region, tribe, or party affiliation, to alleviate the sufferings of the poor citizens.
I go begin for it from the Facebook page. Usai the very first message we go take, they come out from Victor Akomengot. He said the ECSL management that conducted the elections is still intact. It was their conduct that led to the tripartite agreement. These are the same people who are managing the reform process and are most likely to conduct the next elections. It's in case for physical heal themselves, it is going to be business as usual.
This one they say, Mr. Katta, you are talking about political parties' involvement. Are smaller parties like Unity Party involved, even though the party illegal removed this party from political participation?
According to the recommendations, every citizen should get a free ID card from the NCRA, but at the moment, police and NCRA are mounting up checkpoints against the citizens and harassing them for ID cards. ID cards are very crucial in the registration process, considering the past registration. What happened to that recommendation?
This one is Mr. Katta talking about integrity. The key actors that led the country to this unfortunate situation displayed blatant disregard and lack of integrity, and they are part of this process.
You say, he who pays the piper calls the tune. How will you ensure that the ruling party does not use this in their own favor?
This one, they say, from Ben Keru, it is stated in the Constitution that only if there is problems with boundaries delimitation that a PR system will be initiated. So I do not get why should we be having discussions on which system is okay. The PR system was given glaring accolades by CSOs. Now looking at us crying and suffering.
This one from Sita Bar is Mr. Katta, as someone who worked for NEW before the 2018 elections very actively, what do you think about NEW's position for the 2023 election and some international observers who are engaging them on these tripartite recommendations?
Jibril Bangura, they say, Mr. Katta, how did you get this job and who appointed you? Which party were you with before? How independent do you feel? How will the Chief Minister's 2028 SLPP candidacy affect your role?
This one say, how come it's the steering committee that is deciding on their own terms of reference?
All right, so they take a few more, then we will come to Mr. Katta for respond. This one from More Musa, they say, I have not seen any improvement to prevent what happened in 2023 elections. For a poor state to ignore MCC simply tells it's obvious that the fishy plans are set for 2028 elections.
Yera Kwagbo, they ask, where is the Secretariat working from? And this one from Thomas Rogers, it said the Tripartite Steering Committee formed in July 2024 is a key step forward fixing our electoral system and after problems in the 2023 elections. The committee was set up to review the process and suggest ways to prevent similar issues. Now that the report is out, the real work begins. It's not just about making recommendations. It's about real action, building public trust, and making sure all voices are heard. If done right, this can help strengthen our democracy and rebuild confidence in future elections.
All right, the last one I will take for now, they say, Khadija, please ask Mr. Katta how the committee will hold political parties accountable if they fail to uphold standards of the recommendation.
Final one, myself go look at before we come to Mr. Katta for respond. Is say, Mabel, how can we give lions to share the meat? Please ask Mr. Katta how transparent the committee will be and how will it address the interests of all political parties. All right, from that message and day, we will give time to Mr. Katta for respond to the one that we take note of.
So a few of the messages talk about, people's interest in this. And the facts say this is about Sierra Leoneans. And it should be done in a way that promotes the people's interests. So I think that's the hallmark of what they do, not the Secretariat. When Sierra Leoneans say no, what thing they happen. So for that, we go visit every part of Sierra Leone. For Libya, this conversation. Because it's important for we create the environment for Sierra Leoneans, as we know, so much not done be hard about this. But we are also making, frantic efforts for carry this conversations so that Sierra Leoneans go be well informed, and then go follow up, and then go take the kind informed judgment that we want for. ECSL, of course, na a mandatory thing. I mean, then the one that we did, the terms are still effective. I mean, I know say the Chief Electoral Commissioner in Ngolo wrap up.